Hi, gardeners, and welcome. Today I have a four-letter word for you: deer. Boy, do I know your frustrations. You go out, you spend some money, you spend your time planting your garden, putting your plants in, and the next thing you know, they're all gone and you never even got to see them bloom. Perhaps you've even read lists and books and tried to figure out what native plants you can grow, but guess what? You find out that the deer didn't read the same books and lists that you did, and they've eaten what you have planted and spent good money on. After years of having to deal with this problem, I have a few perennials for you today that I can pretty much tell you they are pretty tough, and it's highly unlikely that the deer are going to eat them. There are many out there who are going to say, well, it's the deer and it's their land and we're taking it away from them. The problem is they don't have enough predators and their populations are completely out of balance. Populations today are exponentially higher than what they were in the 1970s. So the deer are finding food, they are thriving. Unfortunately, when the deer population is not managed, what happens is they eat all the native plants. And then the birds, insects, and other wildlife that rely on these plants, they can't find food. So when the population of deer becomes more important and people try and save the deer, that means you are sentencing to death the birds, insects, and other wildlife that rely on our native plants. If you've taken a walk in a nearby wooded area, you're going to find that what's left is mostly adult trees with few young trees, few shrubs that are native. What happens is as the native plants are eaten, they are replaced by the invasive plants that come from other countries that the deer won't eat. So there's much less food for our birds and our insects. But as gardeners, we can help them out by planting native plants in our own garden. And today, we're going to be taking a look at which ones should really work for you, which are the toughest ones that you can rely on planting in your garden. See this shrub? It's a holly. I planted this last spring. Unfortunately, even though holly is one of those plants that's fairly deer resistant, I guess maybe because this one was new and young and had these tender leaves, the deer ate it all last spring. This spring I have protected it, give it a chance to grow, and the leaves are coming back. As you can see, it is getting some growth on it, so hopefully it will be protected. Let's start with Anise or Agastaki. This plant blooms for a long time, attracts pollinators. It grows in full sun in medium moisture to dry soils. Is really easy to grow and reseeds itself, so it becomes economical to just let it reseed itself and fill in areas. It also smells wonderfully of licorice. So easy to grow, so many attributes, and it's in the mint family, so the deer don't eat it. If you look for mint family relatives, they will tend not to eat them. But it does not send out runners. As I said, it spreads through seeds. So you don't have to worry about the invasiveness of as you might with other mints. See this plant here with the yellow needle-like leaves? Well, this is Hubrick's blue star, and this is what it looks like in the fall, where it's really just fabulous. It grows again in full sun in medium to dry soils, also easy to grow. Tends to look more like, when it's growing in, it tends to look a little bit more like a shrub than like a perennial. But it lends this very airy effect to your garden. And in the spring, the leaves are green and it has silvery blue flowers. It'll spend the summer with green leaves. And in the fall is when it takes on this spectacular yellow color. Here you see it with the anise hyssop in the foreground. So just another great plant that's very deer resistant. Another blue star that's deer tolerant is this one, Eastern blue star, also an Amsonia, which blooms in the spring with light blue flowers. and does a great job attracting pollinators as well. This one will tolerate a little bit more wet soil than does the previous Blue Star. One of the best perennials you could ever have to attract pollinators is mountain mint. It is absolutely loaded with them when it is in bloom. These flowers are the ones in the center, but it has these silvery white bracts over a long period of time that keep it looking attractive. Now this one is a little bit more aggressive, so you put it somewhere where you want it to spread. It's excellent. This one grows in full sun and just blooms for a long period of time, pretty much from July on. It's going to be looking very attractive and being loaded with pollinators. This lovely grass is little bluestem, which is very valuable to wildlife because it supports the caterpillars of several skippers or cousins of the butterflies. Here it is in bloom. So it has these blue colored blades, and then in the fall it has these tawny tones to it. So you're getting some color variation throughout the seasons, and it's just a very attractive looking. Grows in full sun, tolerates very dry soils, grows in medium moisture to very dry soils, and is really just a pretty easy grass to grow. So I hope that these options have provided you um, with plants that you can grow in your garden for those of you having deer trouble. And even if you don't have deer trouble, all of these are fantastic native plants you can grow. Thank you for making our world a better place. Please subscribe and look at Native Plant Channel on Facebook as well for more ideas. Have a great day.